So we'll give you a brief introduction about what GHRC is through a video.
Thank you
So
so
we'll
much,
encourage all
Srinidhi.
of you all to join us and walk the journey towards promoting excellence through people. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Ritika.
yeah. Thank you so much, Srinidhi, for sharing the video. So let me go ahead. So good morning, everybody. A warm welcome to today's GHRC webinar. So before we begin, happy International Yoga Day. Let's take a moment to appreciate the balance, mindfulness, and energy that the yoga brings into our lives. qualities that align beautifully with today's theme of human centered transformation. Today's session is a special one. We are diving into the Jeanne Liedtka HR Blueprint Design Thinking for Transformational Impact, a powerful exploration of how HR professionals can drive innovation and change by applying human centered design principles. Get ready for an engaging masterclass where you'll discover practical tools, real world insights, and an action plan to lead your own design thinking initiatives, no matter your role or designation. Now, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our speaker, Dr. Anu Binny, a globally renowned design thinking facilitator, an international speaker, author, and life design coach. With over 22 years of global experience across learning, leadership, and innovation, Dr. Anu brings a unique blend of empathy, strategy, and action to every stage she steps on. A Stanford certified life design coach and best selling author, she has inspired audiences and organizations worldwide to redesign not just their system but their lives with purpose. She has led international projects, shaped future ready learning ecosystem, and empowered thousands to unlock their true potential. Her sessions are not just informative, they are immersive experiences that spark reflection and real transformation. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Anubini as she takes us on this transformation journey. Over to you, Anubini.
Thank you so much, Ritika. So it's exciting to know that so many of you all have joined in. And Ritika, can you just
Anu,
let
we
me know?
can't hear you much. Little louder or close.
Yes, this is better.
A little
Slightly
better.
better.
A little better.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'll try to be a little more louder. Ritika, can you let me know how much time do we have for this session?
You can do
We
it till
have time
12.
till 12 o'clock. We have time till 12, 90 minutes.
90 minutes. Okay. Awesome. So, a warm welcome to all of y'all. And I heard all of y'all exchanging the notes. We have basically, I heard that there are a lot of people from diverse, companies also, plus I think diverse roles. And I am also very happy that there are people who are from established organization as well as startups. And it is very nice, always to come together. And being a design thinking advocate, I always feel that when people come, I always tell that when people come together, actually magic happens. So design, before I get into the entire design thinking approach, I just wanted to take a little time off to appreciate all the HR people out here, or even the people from startups who really take care of the humans out there. I just want to appreciate, because it is because of y'all probably that somebody gets a first break of job. It is because of y'all probably because that somebody gets a second chance, though it might sound like a PIP or something like that. It is because of y'all that the company, the organization is able to handle a lot of projects, because companies can come with a lot of projects. But what really hampers is the people, right? If you have the right talent, the organization can grow, the organization can scale, and things like that. So, and y'all are the people who really balance the demanding and aggressive workers to the more intuitive, giving, caring, and all of that kind of people, diverse people. Not that anybody is good or bad, but you have to have the entire diverse thing, and you'll create an inclusive environment. And every time, I guess, when there has been a challenge, the people who really make the challenge, I believe, is definitely the HR people. So I just want to start off actually by honestly saying that, and I'm very grateful for the HR people who were there with me along the way, because I think every milestone that I have reached is because, at every milestone, I believe an HR had a very important role to play, including the people of the organization. So you all are the people who really make a difference. Yeah. So, uh, honest hats off to each one of you. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you, and very rare that we get bouquets, and most of the time we get brickbats. So thank you so much for your kind words of appreciation.
Exactly. And that's the time, I started thinking because, a little bit of me is that, you said that I've done my engineering, I've done my PhD also in engineering. But something really drew me to the entire HR function was I got an opportunity to really care and build lives. So that's something that was very core to me. And somehow, I kept hanging around here, though I brought in technology and everything, but, I was always around the HR. And I'm glad I did that. I'm very, very happy and proud of it. This topic is very close to me because I feel, yes, design thinking has changed my life. I've seen a lot of lives also change through design thinking, and I am a design thinking advocate, no doubt about that. But what I feel is that the real place where design thinking can actually make things happen and change on a larger course is the HR function. So when Ritika reached out to me saying that, is there a topic that you would like to take? I said, why not start with design thinking for HR? It's a core skill. A lot of people think about it, and I think this is the right platform. And I'm so glad and I'm so happy that all of you all have taken this time out a Saturday morning, with everybody fighting for time and fighting for that piece of mind that you all are looking for. You all have come and chosen it. I'll try my level best to do what I can do. Of course, the pace of it will be totally determined by our interaction and engagement. There are many ways of looking at design thinking. One is that you directly go into the concept and the foundation and try to build on that. And the second is actually look at how to apply it and what are the real life scenarios that we can look at it. And the third part is actually doing design thinking workshop online doesn't really work too much because it is with people. You have a lot of thinking involved, critical, divergent, convergent, all thinking. And the real magic of design thinking happens when people come together. So out of these three perspectives, one is the deep dive into what the method is, what is the approach is, what is Jeanne Liedtka's method, everything. Would you want that? Or would you want to know how exactly these design thinking's approaches have been applied or as, knowing this method more and more from an application perspective? Or do you all want to convert this into a live workshop? We all fly together and meet up at some place and do it. What out of the three options? 1, 2, 3. Which one do you want? The application. Neha says the application. Okay.
So I'm assuming third is not an option currently, right? So for now, possibly a mix of 1 and 2.
Right. Mix of 1 and 2. There's this whole thing
I
about
believe more of use cases would be great.
use cases. Okay. Okay. Case studies. Okay. Application and concept. Okay. Okay. So I think there is a mix of application and concept, concept and application. I think the doing part maybe we will focus on, but because it's a design thinking methodology, without doing actually doesn't happen. So let me see how well we are able to do it. The only thing I accept concept and use cases. Okay. The only thing that I want from you all, Soumya, Satish, thank you so much. Shefali, thank you. Neha, thank you for your inputs. Fine. I'm not able to see the other speakers basically, but thank you from the audience who spoke up. So I want this to be as interactive as possible, and we can do it with this short period of time. One of the things that probably I'll try to do is I'll try to make design thinking that's so complicated as simple as possible. Okay, because I believe if I am able to do that successfully, the how part, the what part is something that we can definitely explorate. Okay. So, Ritika, can you please share the Mentimeter, please? Link. Let's start with some. So Ritika will be sharing the Mentimeter link.
Or you can flash the QR code, that will be easier.
What do you want, Anu?
I have actually shared the link for the
I'm sharing it. I have dropped it in the text box.
Let me also share the screen. Let me know if you can see it.
GHRC ತಗೊಂಡು webinar. GHRC.
So ChatGPT is giving a tough fight.
Okay, I see some inputs coming in. You start brainstorming ideas. Awesome. Nobody cribs about it to your work bestie. I didn't know that.
Never, no cribbing.
Never. Is
Never.
it?
Happy guys.
No, the thing is, that's not the first thing we do.
Okay. Okay.
But we never ask colleagues and never panic.
Okay, people are still using their brains.
Awesome.
I think
hope-
brainstorming can be even with the chat GPT. I think it's combination of all people
I
and
know.
technology.
But there was an MIT survey report which was released a few days back, which said that people are becoming dumb and not using their brains with ChatGPT around.
No, but then I think the answer was right that this is not the first thing what we do. First thing is not the chat GPT, first thing is not cribbing.
Yeah. Interesting. So good brainstorming ideas.
So first thing is to use your brain and then give the task to ChatGPT to do the rest.
Yeah. Augment your brain with the ChatGPT's
Yes.
intelligence. Good. Humans have still a role to play. HR has still got a job.
Okay. That's interesting.
An HR poll anyway.
Okay. Mhm. So where did you first hear about design thinking?
It's around 15 years back when I think I got trained in the design thinking in my office or a company.
Yeah. Was that for product
No, as a concept.
or as a concept? Were you
I-
able to use it?
I first heard it during a Luma certification for my senior leadership. So I was just curious and looked up online on that.
Okay.
So I heard design thinking when I was working with Honeywell, and Honeywell predominantly used the Luma technologies to train the senior management for design thinking. So that's where the journey.
It would be nice if you can just say, hi, I am so and so, and then probably
Hey,
share.
Hey, okay, I am Bikash here. I currently work as director into L&D for Morgan Stanley, Bangalore.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so there are some thought
This
leaders.
is Satish here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm from product management background. In
Mhm.
fact, design thinking is one of the core concepts we use in most of the product designs. So I've been using it, but it would be interesting to see how we apply that in the HR domain, actually, which you're going to do today.
Yes. Awesome. So you use the IDEO model, right? The IDEO model for design thinking?
Yes.
Define.
Yes.
Discover, define, ideate, test, and prototype. Prototype and test, right?
Your voice is a little bit low.
Yes or no? It's a bit.
I have no clue what's wrong. but I still shouted a little more. I don't know. I just don't want to touch it because just in case I touch it and something goes wrong. Let me try with the headset. Shall I try with the headset?
Yeah, I think that would be better.
Yeah, let me try with the headset because I usually, give me a minute.
Somebody has written RMSI. What is that?
Okay, is this better?
Yeah, this is better, much better.
Much better? Okay, I may. Okay, so awesome. So I think there are a lot of people who have already heard about design thinking, and most of us must have been very familiar with the IDEO model, that was made famous definitely by Steve Jobs, and he came up with an entirely new thing. Anybody who's into product, can you let me know what was the core strategy of what is Apple known for? As what was the core strategy of Apple when they started to build a product?
Simplification.
Simplification. Wow. Yes, true.
I think user empathy or
experience.
user-centered design.
User empathy. Yes, somebody said experience. Who was that?
Yeah, me,
That is?
Nitini.
Yeah. Hi, Nitin. Yeah. So that's true. He's the one, though we always talk about Apple. I just want a mind shift. Okay. There's a little bit of reflection. By the way, all of you all have a paper and pen. If you don't have, please bring in. A little bit of reflection and a little bit of thinking will be required here. So basically what he did was he understood very early in his life that he cannot actually build a product based on technology. And there are a lot of talks. And he spoke almost 14 years ago. And he said that I'm not taking a technology and putting it into a product, but I want to build a product with a customer experience and find out the suitable, technology and put it into it. And that's what should be the reflection of every HR person. Okay. The very fact that we're so empathetic, the very fact that we know people so well is our strength. Yeah. And so when people are actually looking at technology, this is where your paradigm should shift. When was the last time somebody looked at y'all and looked at your department? I know there's a lot of heads, or even looked at you as an individual and said that, you know what, we have an innovative HR department. When was that? Or how would you feel if somebody really looked at you and said, you know what, HR is really innovative? Okay. So I'm not able to see the chats, unfortunately, but I'm presuming there must be few and there must be few who haven't. But what I'm trying to tell you is that here is the power mantra that I'm trying to give you. If you start understanding design thinking, because you have people experience, everything will fall in place. You will definitely be in the innovation circle. Okay. So that's a very, very interesting, input that has come. Now, I want to know in one phrase, what are you hoping to take away from this session? One phrase, one word.
Strategic thinking.
Strategic thinking.
How to design our thinking in the programs.
Oh, awesome. How to design.
Understanding the concept.
Understanding the concept. Okay. Use case. Workable model. Awesome. Clarity. Usability. Awesome. Applicability. Yes. Yes. Ease of using. Awesome. Strategic, yes, once again, strategic. Learning, awesome. And somebody saying execute or implement a design thing. I love that. Awesome. So this is very, very interesting. And I think by nature of design thinking, we will be able to unlock design thinking. Very nice. Yes, awesome. Ritika, will you help me with by just clicking this pic and putting it into the chat, please?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay, people are still typing in. Application in HR, awesome. Solve ground level issues. I like that. Who said that? Solve ground level issues. Who said that?
Satish here.
Satish, awesome. So I find over here people who want to solve problems. Basically, all of this is working such a manner, and people who want to make a difference, right? So that's awesome for us to start with. So let me quickly go into. Okay. Just sharing my PPT. By the way, because it's an online thing and I'm not somehow able to see everybody's comments, please don't mind. You can always reach out to me at any point of time. My email ID, if you can please share my email ID, it is Anu. The easiest is anubini@hotmail.com, though I have many others. Or it can be anu.bini@gmail.com. Okay. So you're going to do a masterclass on design thinking. So the first thing I thought that, okay, I'm very much in line with whatever y'all are thinking, and there are other people who want to apply that in other application. That is also possible. So we're going to basically gain knowledge on the key concept of design thinking, and we're going to apply our learning and reframe design challenges and innovate effectively. Okay. Now I want to check with all of y'all. What do you think? Is innovation is an event or not an event? Though it's a very direct closed loop question.
It's an approach rather than an event.
Okay, it is an
Not an
approach. Come again. Is it an aha moment?
Yeah, it is an aha moment.
Aha moment. Okay.
It's a continuous aha moment if it's possible, or
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Yes, it's yeah. If you can just tell the name quickly, so we'll anyways network and we'll anyways come to each other's name. Yes. So it's a continuous. Who said that, please?
Aarti.
Aarti said that. Okay, awesome. Okay, so what design thinking basically, we may have different versions of think of design thinking, and we always whenever I ask this to my participants, they always think about Archimedes principle, eureka moment, right? It happened and then suddenly he came up with the entire thing, and that's when the entire idea happened and the innovation, or the Einstein's apple, it just happened. But here's why design thinking becomes so beautiful, because it says innovation is a process, and the process can be broken up. Isn't that helpful? Doesn't that make the tool so easy? We don't have to know anything. Somebody is just like Bloom's taxonomy. We all know, right? There are so many of these other kind of patterns people have already made up, and we just figure out where in that entire output that we are, right? So this should be a very this should be something that should let you know that every innovation is actually a process that people have followed. Okay, it is, if left by chance, that innovation will be one of a time, and we cannot have innovation at just once, right? Adit said it's a continuous thing. True. If you have to grow, you have to innovate. You'll have to keep moving. Okay. So this is the first paradigm shift I really want you all to know, that innovation is a process. So what is design thinking? We've all heard about it. Design thinking is a human-centered, collaborative approach to problem solving. It's creative, iterative, and practical. Anybody can decode what you mean by human-centered? Just say your name and then tell.
Yes, Soumya here. It is just empathizing with what the user is feeling.
Awesome. So human at the center. Very well said. Collaborate.
Coming together on solving a problem.
Yes, who's that, please?
Akshay, I'm here.
Akshay, awesome. Collaborating means breaking walls, breaking barriers, breaking silos, everything coming together. Awesome. And problem solving?
The purpose. Why are we doing what are we doing?
Exactly. So what the next word, creative. It is creative, meaning?
Thinking of a new approach.
Awesome. Who said that?
Shafali.
Shefali, awesome. Right. Thinking of a new approach, coming up with something new. Okay. Yes. Iterative.
You have to do it again and again till you get the right approach.
Who said that, please?
Soumya, yeah.
Soumya, yeah, that's true. It is iterative. And that's the beauty of it, you know. Practical.
It's tested, it's practical development.
Yeah, it is possible for us to do it. Does that
Possible,
excite you all?
possible for any layman to do it.
Exactly. That is right. Rightly put. Yeah. So does that open up impossibilities to you all? Okay. So we spoke about that. So yes, we said it starts with thinking about people, what they need and what they want, and who in the entire organization is best fit for this role.
HR.
People from HR. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So I want you all to straighten yourself up and say, yes, now this is what I'm going to use and I'm going to make a difference in a very technical and very nice way. Yeah. So, and I'm going to be known as the innovative process. The only thing over here is that I'll just been long since I used Zoom. Forgot. Okay. So always know one thing. It's all about exploring possibilities. Okay. So when I gave the first ball to it, okay, when I asked you, what do you first do when you start, when a problem or a project is given? What do? We start brainstorming. Okay. What are we supposed to do?
Probably think.
Wonderful. Who said that? Wonderful. Who said that? Soumya?
Aarti.
Aarti. Awesome. You nailed it. We have to think. And that's exactly what we don't do. And there's a very beautiful thing Charles Munger says. You know, we all know about, if we know Warren Buffett, we know that he attributes everything to Charles Munger. And Charles Munger is a person who created a lot of mental models. And he says that what the biggest mistake people do and why people really fail in life or why people really lose money actually is because they act on impulse. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's how we've been brought up. Some of us have been brought up thinking that you have to figure out on your own. So we don't know anywhere to go and ask for help. We have learned to do it our way. And that probably has, happened even at workplace. Sometimes we are very capable of doing it. So that's why we feel that, and we may be introverts. So we think that why not do it, figure out my own way and then, go with a solution. And so there are so many other reasons why we start thinking, because that's the way our mind we have been trained. And that is because every first student who spoke in the class got appreciated. And the thinkers were looked upon as confused. Okay, so that entire paradigm has actually sinked into our life, and because of that, we don't think. And that's why, one of the person who really advocates this, and if you really look at all the good people who are doing really well in life and who are innovators, known as innovators, including Steve Jobs, he will take a pause. You give him a question, he'll not answer right away. He'll take a pause to think. Okay, so thinking is so important. And that is, we are so uncomfortable with that uncertainty, But if we are able to train ourselves to get into that uncomfortable zone of uncertainty, of maybe, this is not going to work out. If you're able to sit in that uncomfortable zone for some more time, I tell you, the third and the fourth and the fifth solution that your mind comes up with, or collaboratively you'll come up with, will be a much, much, much better solution. How many of us have got into a problem for saying yes too fast?
Right.
Yeah. So fast. Yes. And how many of us have really had a really tough life coming out of that entire thing just because it was not yes? So basically, we have to, that's a mindset we need a growth mindset and all of that. But if you don't have this mindset, design thinking will just be down like that only, like some other big name. You should be able to overcome this mindset. And I take it, when I do live workshops, I take it very differently. And I spend a lot of time, almost an hour and a half, to help people with a lot of activities to come out of this entire, entire zone of not being able to be in the uncomfortable zone. Okay. So there is a phase of uncertainty, then you get into focus, and then you actually innovate. Okay. So it is all about exploring possibilities and then narrowing them down. Okay. And we should always, whenever you're thinking about it, I think that's what came up in the first conversation, that I'm looking for something which is feasible. I'm looking for something which is human centric. I want to ensure that a lot of things are human desirable. Then we go back to our business and then they say, no, this is too expensive. Explain to me why do you need it, right? So you need a business viability for all of it. And all of this is actually taken care of by design thinking in the process itself. That's the beauty of design thinking. Okay. And when all these three things happen, actually the innovation happens. Innovation means what? There's a difference between research and innovation, right? Yeah. So research is something, there's a lot of paper and everything, but is it workable? And the first three questions that your business heads will ask you is it, making an impact, right? ROIs will speak about impact. It will talk about feasibility. It will talk about whether it is business viability. So through this process itself, this is happening. Design thinking process itself, all this is being taken care of. Okay. So now I'm coming to the Jeanne Liedtka's approach. Has anybody heard about Jeanne Liedtka's approach?
No.
No. Okay. So just very small context I'll give. So most of us have heard about the IDEO model. Okay. So we identify, define, and we go and then we create a lot of opportunities and we create prototypes and we do it. But what happened is this entire IDEO model has been shifted to product development. And yes, Steve Jobs and a lot of other companies, IBM, all the companies. In fact, I was so, even Indian companies have taken that approach and they have really transformed it. But somewhere it got, because innovation was something of a business, requirement. The business does innovation, HR doesn't innovation. And then when I came across Jeanne Liedtka's approach, I really loved it. Because Jeanne Liedtka's approach is definitely for innovation. It is a design thinking approach, but it gives the capacity to make a change to every ground level employee also. That is, you and me can also do it, right? That's what came up in one of our sessions, one of our questions, right? Somebody said, I want to solve ground level problems, but sometimes we are not the decision makers. For a product, usually it is headed by the design head or something like that. So they have the power and the authority. Right? But we would want to create small eddy currents of our initiatives, isn't it? And all those who feel that I want to do it, can you just give a thumbs up? How many of you all feel that I want to make a difference?
All of us, I'm sure.
Yes. Are there some thumbs up flowing in? I can't see it. Yeah, awesome. So that's what I loved about Jeanne Liedtka's approach. So now we just take a few case studies that he took. And while you're listening to these case studies, I want you to get insights, because we don't want data points. We see one thing that we have to do is what the other people do is they look at data points. We are people who should, from the data points, create insights. Okay. And I've taken 2-3 cases here, which will help you understand, okay, this is possible. Okay. Just to open up the possibilities that are that we can do. With me?
Yes.
Yeah. So Jeanne Liedtka's design thinking approach is very simple. It says what is? That is it. Oh, okay. This is gay. Okay. Let me finish the session and I'll go. What is? That is, it explores the current reality. What if it envisions a new future? What wows? It helps you make some choices. And what works? It helps you bring it to action. Is my PPT slide clear?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Because for me, it is actually that's the Zoom strip is coming. And somehow I'm not able to. Oh, wow. Okay. because design thinking is usually I take it, face to face. So what is, what if, what wows, what works? Yeah. So now I'll take this course, this case study. This was with Apache Indian actually, and there was this local reservation center where a quality control manager called Marissa wanted to improve the care being able to deliver to their local patient. The problem was the patients were waiting for 6 to 8 hours, and especially for emergency cases, it was too long and life threatening. So what happened is most of the people would go away. Most of the people would take the medicine and still not recover, and many of the patients were not able to take that you make use of the facility.
What happened to her?
We lost her. Maybe internet issue, I think.
Like the Apache Indian customers. Lost. I think, but the biggest pain, you asked what the biggest pain for the HR professionals about waiting for a response, waiting for people to come back, waiting for a revert, waiting for things to happen without follow-up. Nothing happens without follow-up. You just got to follow up intensely.
And waiting for people to turn up on the training programs.
About a half an hour window, no? You had a half an hour introduction, the meet and greet. That's why people come in right on time.
No, but because let me tell you, we get 150 registrations, but 30, 40 people turn up. And it's the same even in the corporate world, right? I managed large corporates and we have programs aligned. On the day of the program, HR calls and say, hey, you've been nominated. Where are you? When are you coming? Right?
So that is a typical say-do ratio. People with great energy, good students, and
On a lighter note, on a lighter note, I am not from the HR, but we have a similar story on the other side as well. Most of the time we hear, we'll get back to you.
I know. I fully agree with you. Yes.
famous last words. You should say, even, I think the art
That's
of
being
is important.
Satish, that's being diplomatic.
Diplomatic, yes.
It's instead of saying no, we'll get back to you, right?
I hope that wait is not endless actually, which happens these days quite often.
I think Satish has been impacted by some HR people, but I think the important thing is to say that we may get back to you. We will hopefully, or you will put it in a kind of uncertainty corridor. Then the guy will also realize there is a small chance that they might not get back.
Yeah.
Will get back is to it.
Yeah, Anu.
Yeah. So my supply, that batteries got conked off. I have a power cut here. So basically, that is a situation. That is, you have a lot of elderly people coming for care. What is the solution that you would come up with? That's my first question. You got the context. Care for the elderly. There's a hospital. Marisa, that is you. You are from the quality control. And you want to there's the lurking thing is that patients are not getting the care. There's long waiting queue for it. People are waiting, and then they get in and they do not get the required thing. They have to come back the next day. What are the options that you would probably bring?
Having multiple desks to cater to different age ranges.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Maybe do an online ticketing so people don't have to wait. Have the tickets, know the status before they come in and land up just.
Online ticketing, okay. Yes.
And
I
believe we have to
please
look
tell your
into
name. Please tell your name.
Have a
Please,
pre-screening.
design thinkers who are speaking, please tell your names.
Online ticketing, Shankar.
Shankar, okay.
Bikash
Have a
here, so I think we have to
pre-screening.
look the case by case because the disease might be priority based.
Look at case by case. So priority. How will you do it?
Yeah, so either we have to know what are the diseases, who is coming, who can be postponed, who can be on priority. Based on that, we have to make a queue, and then give those kind of an online stuff with them, or consult them online, those who can be rectified, okay, with
Okay, so
minimum
online
consultation.
consultants. So you create a doctors who will give online consultation.
Yes.
Okay. What else?
So building on
And
what
multiple
Bikash said, this
doctors.
is Aarti here.
Aarti, yeah.
It's defined what is emergency. You know, what is emergency, and ask a whole set of these patients as well as the doctors and that setup. What is emergency, and use that as the basis for doing everything else.
Okay. Okay. So what emergency? But how would you do that?
Through a pre-screening process, Teresa
Through
here.
Teresa.
Pre-screening. So you would have additional doctors who would pre-screen, or maybe
Pre-screened
senior,
it. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean resident doctors who would pre-screen, and then it goes into the queue system or all of that. So it's faster turnaround time in terms of who's in a critical state gets immediate attention. The ones who have your regular cough and cold go in another direction. So that way.
Awesome. Awesome. That was a good idea. What else? Anybody else? Okay. But you know, now that my laptop is still charging, look at it now from the feasibility perspective. So we had a sweet spot. That is, we wanted to know it should make business sense. That is money. It should make an impact. And it should be implementable, right? Look at your own ideas or the ideas that have been spoken, and look at it and tell that, you know, what are your views on the sweet spot? What about implementing it? For example, I think we had online technology coming in. What about it? Would it cost money?
No, it's free, Shankar.
Yes.
It's free.
And
It's
also
free.
knowledge. Are they
Online.
familiar with technology?
Training, training the
That could
team.
be another area.
Yeah. Come again. I missed the last point.
I'm saying training the existing staff and making sure that
Training.
it's capable to integrate with the existing systems.
Okay, okay. Training the existing staff, that is definitely a good thing. So now I want to know, so what training do we, there will be people and it is implementable, yes. And, it applies to the business initiatives also, right? Business ROI is also there. Let's take case by case for now. So please remember that we're going to all discuss it. So there's no good or bad in this. It's just that we're taking a case in the given context. Of course, we can make it happen, but we're just trying to get home some reflectory points. Okay, so please don't. I always tell when I give these trainings for startups, I always say, don't marry your idea. Never do that. There are so many people who just get personally attached to the idea, and then things don't work out. Get married to the just iterate, come up with new things. Marry to the want that the customer has or your target audience has. Marry to that. You tell yourself, no, whatever happens, I'm going to give that, instead of getting too personally attached to the idea. That's what I tell the startups, okay. So that is what comes. Okay, then what else is there? One of us said that there is technology that can be an online platform. Then second was there could be a queuing system where priority is done, right? So would this be using technology? I think Vikram said that, or Vilash said that.
We can use technology as well.
Yeah, technology. Okay. And then online data, online consent and all of that, that's also technology. What about what did Aarti say? What is the emergency? So block in terms of emergency, how would you do that, Aarti?
Look at past data of what are the sort of patients who have come in, and see if what is emergency, what is not, and then move into the queuing thing.
Into the queuing thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. And so we have Teresa also saying something very, she said that we should screen it. I think that, and then we also had, training to be coming in, but what happened was, the thing that happened here was when Melissa did that, she went through a design thinking workshop called Ignite. And she started sitting in with the target people. And the first thing that came to her mind was technology. Can we use a technology as a product so that we are able to kind of come up with something really nice? And we can have an online so that there is no queuing required. People come whenever they have to. There's no queuing. There's no rush. People know where to go. Assignments are all given and all of that. That's a program that's the idea that she went with. But when she came back with from the design thinking approach, and when she applied the design thinking approach, she was able to. That's what I said. They are data points. She was able to understand the insight. The insight was the Apache Indian were very so that existing, even if they would have put up an online system, which was there actually, not that it was not there, it was still not working.
Okay.
So they came to know that was because the Apache Indians, they were all, at the senior level, and they were not comfortable with technology.
Okay.
So they had the data points. And then she was able to understand that this could be solved only through a pen and paper method. There was an entire layer brought in of the people who would actually be the face of it, who were actually taking them to the doctors. They had another additional layer to it where they had to help the patients to write the entire whatever it is, and they were the ones who were filling it. Something that a lot of banking system did it in India. Right? In the initial years, if anybody remembers, they would just make us sit and, they would tell, okay, we will fill in all the data. We'll do everything for you. And they would just give, and they used to ask us to sign and so on and so forth. A lot of people who, in the early days, who have done the loan or anything like that, even opening a bank account, opening an FD, everything they used to do it on their own. That's how it upped it. So they have applied design thinking. And just by using pen and paper, there was no expense that actually went into it. And more than that, she was able to save $5 million. And I'm just reading a quote that wrote is.
Look, can you go back to where you were sitting earlier, because the voice just muted.
I don't know. Actually, I have this power cut that has happened.
We can hear you now.
Yeah, I'll just put it on. Do you all need to see my pretty face, or I'll just mute it and I start talking and bring it closer to me? Is that okay?
Sure.
No, we can hear you well now. We can hear you well.
Yeah, is that better? Okay. So what she said was, when she went for the design thinking course, she says, we were babies and others were so much sophisticated, more educated. It was scary. But if that email hadn't come to me, I would have never known that I had the ability to make this happen. It gave me the confidence to be willing to propose anything and everything without concerning myself with the rejection of any new idea. I want you all to look at yourself and ask you all have ideas. We started thinking about technology immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But can we stop back and probably think, how is it that we can use our expertise and bring in insights and make the change that is required? For that, the only thing that we need to actually overcome, because when I take this with a lot of people, they say, we face so many rejections. That feeling of my idea getting rejected itself doesn't let me speak up. And I'm sure we have so many members in this conversation. And only a few of them were ready to get into that uncomfortable zone that my idea may get rejected. And I'm telling you again that only those people who said will have the maximum takeaway from this workshop. Only because they had the mindset to get into that uncomfortable zone and be okay with being rejected. So I think one of the line statements that I want you all to write in your notebook is, even if my ideas are rejected, I will still continue in my pursuit. because I have the intelligence of drawing insights from the data points.
Got it.
Yeah. And for a moment, I want you all to reflect on at any of the ideas that have been rejected. And think for a moment, it happened last time, but I'm not going to give up.
So the rejection front, Anu, the problem statement in the Apache India was about what is the pain point there about people feeling rejected because of the long wait and having to go back. Was that the pain point?
No. That was not the pain point. I'm talking about Marissa here because you and I are Marissas.
Okay.
I said right now when we had when we had the opportunity to come up with that idea, though we spoke, right, that we need, to be willing to, be willing to come out of the comfort zone. All that on paper was there, right? We all knew that. But when it came to practicing, we were not able to do that.
We get that, Anu, but on the reason for ruling out technology and getting back to pen and paper, the Apache Indian case study where people would be, a lot of people, too many people versus less ability to get appointments that day. How do the pen and paper cope with the rush? Just want to check on the root cause and how, if that problem was addressed suitably through the pen and paper method as in the bank.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the crowd, the audience that was there, even if you would have gotten the best of online system, even if you would have got the best of user experience, even if you would have applied the best of technology, as compared vis-a-vis to the problem that they were facing, that was, they were not comfortable with the online systems. So that is what was addressed.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were data points. What I shared with you were data points. But from a perspective, because we are, I just wanted to, how do I say? I just wanted to help you all think that, even if you all have data points, a better thing would be if we are able to actually bring insights to the data points and not quickly run to technology. Was I able to? Was I able to answer?
Yes, you were.
So now I think I'm online. Can you all see my, okay, I am now on mobile and I'm on all of that. So let me go to the next example. So I have taken up only those examples in which it can be our strengths, okay? Okay.
Okay, so
Okay,
now
so
let
now
us
let us take up the second one.
I think Anu, one of the device you have to mute, otherwise this echo will come.
I have actually, let me, is this better?
Yep.
Yeah. I really don't want to, if these technology, that's the beauty of technology. It will never tell you when it is going to crack. It just conks off. Okay. So now this is the second one. Okay. Wherein we had, there is this Monash Medical Center, which was for mental health care.
So there was a deep concern, especially with the failure in handling suicide cases in the emergency room. Okay, patients often came to the ER due to the drug overdose or suicide attempts, and what would happen is that they would come, they would take the medication, they would go back, but the frequency of return kept on increasing at a shorter time interval. So for example, the first time they would have come with a overdose would have been, say, a month ago. Then after coming in, after things were actually given, then it would shrink down to, say, 20 days, 10 days, or 1 day, and ultimately they would lose the patient. Okay, so they tried a lot, they tried to do a lot of interventions, they tried to do a lot of things, but still it was not coming, making it happen. That's when they started, using design thinking as an approach to do it. Okay. So what they realized is, that this was a typical story of Tom. There were 3 contacts with the mental health clinician. There would be 13 case managers touching him. There would be 70 touch points. There were 18 hands-off, 5 IT systems, and 15 paper records. This would be the journey of Tom every time he came. With this data, they tried to apply some of the insights. And they came to know that the patient at that point of time actually needed care. And nobody to listen to him or her, and nobody to understand him, and everybody handling patients like patients with no recall of what how he had come last time. Everybody trying to figure out, okay, what is the things that happened last time, and treating him like the medical attention more than the care was actually, that's what turned out to be the problem. And what they came up with, they all came together. They had this entire different experts, which very often even happens in corporates, right? All departments have different experts and they have different way of thinking. And this was a place where they collaboratively came together. They had the expertise. They set up an entire training session for empathy, coming together, sharing the expertise, looking at case studies, why they did what, and trying to in some way create a universe or a metaverse of common understanding of the treatments that were given. That was first step. Then after that, what they did was that they tried to look at every patient very empathetically, and they found out that this really, really worked. So this is a second example where the data insights was there, but there were 2 insights coming out of it. One, and that was because of the empathy and the entire interviewing process. One was that what the patient wanted was care. Second was the entire silo working of expertise across departments. And when they came out collaboratively, when they started seeing Tom's story together, that's when they realized that they really could change things, and this really, really helped. And this is what came up. This is what was one of the quote. We can think all kinds of things about how we believe the system is working, but then seeing the reality, how it was really working, was shocking, and the intentions reality had come. Patients needed someone to be present for them despite the flurry of activities. And we decided to, feel that and remove it. So this is another one individual who initiated it from one single department. Now, there are 2 things that I'm trying to also explain here. One is that, yes, design thinking at an individual level is possible. Even if you're not at a higher level, at your own level, you can create ripples. Okay, there's another one which I'll just leave for now. And of course, there is another. It's also happening in India. I was just connected with the Center for Management Development of Kerala, and they were saying that how these jaggery manufacturers were really under poverty line, and the government was trying to do so much for them, but they were just not able to do it. They would get the land from the government. They would then sell it off to the zamindars. The zamindars would buy it. They would employ the very same people over there and give them the money, and the same jaggery would be sold at the next marketplace, and they had to break it. And there were a lot of things that they started with empathy because it was not working out, and that's when it came to Center for Management Development. And one of the things that they started interviewing, and they started looking at it empathetically, and they realized the trainings were not working itself, because first 2 days, all of these people would come and attend the trainings, and they used to say, yes, we don't want to live a life like this. We are going to start working on our land. The third day, the zamindars would invite them for a party and free flowing liquor, and that's when the third day they wouldn't appear, fourth day they wouldn't appear, fifth day, and the entire training started collapsing. So when that happened, these people, they took all of these the entire training participants into a village, and they were not allowed to actually mingle. And that's when this product came in, Madhuram, and it is now actually being used in it is international. It's an international product today. Of course, the packaging and everything has come. So this also came up from the simple elements of training. So these are some of the examples I wanted to give. I also wanted to give my example how I actually did it. For now, for the lack of time, I'm just letting it go. But if we have time, we'll come back to it. Okay. So now that we know that this is the Jeanne Liedtka method, can we start trying it out? Are you all excited to try it out?
What do you mean by try it out?
We'll solve a problem right now.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Can we do that together?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, because the entire process of every design thinking as a model will be there in your mind, but unless and until you try to implement it, it will really not work. So, how much time do we have?
Till 12.
Another half an hour.
Half an hour. Okay. So now I want all of you all to put on your gears, and we will start working on it. I think there were a lot of problems that were being shared earlier. Okay. Can we start with this? How might we redesign the work? Because I think the startup was a question. Or do you want to take up the question that one of our participant had about retaining employees for a startup? What do you all want to do? This is something that I had actually taken up, but I can let go of this.
Yeah,
I think this is the same thing, because Gen Z is also part of the startup, and I believe this is a great problem statement which can be talked about here.
Okay, awesome. So now I want all of y'all, we will have it will be like a rapid walk into our entire design thinking process. But before we end it, I just want to complete this one step, once at least, and probably later we can always have, y'all can deep dive into it much more better. Now, I also, while I'm going to do it, this is going to be a very crisp way of doing it, but Jeanne Liedtka's method is very methodical. Every input has an output. There are documents that are there, and every document serves a purpose, but that is for a later time. We will start working on this problem. Can all of you all write this problem statement? How might we redesign the workplace experience to better support and engage Gen Z employees? Yeah. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to have we are going to figure out what is the current situation. So on your paper and pen, write down. All of you have written the statement.
Yes.
Yeah. Because this is design thinking, so it is something that we have to Right. So what I want you all to do is you all want
One
on
second,
your
please.
own, based on your experience, can you all write down what is the current reality according to you for the Gen Z?
Reality for what?
For the Gen Zs who are actually working in your company, what are the current struggles and expectations of Gen Zs at work?
They can probably write it in the chat.
No, I'm going to bring it out because it has to be a collaborative thing, no? So we'll need that entire gathering of information.
That's what I said. Put it on the chat.
Yeah, or you can put it on the Mentimeter, please.
Menti.
We don't have the Mentimeter.
The same one.
Same link, put in all the
Yeah, same
problem
link. The
statements
code
of
is,
the
the
we
code is
can see that. We can see that.
4513.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4513-3888.
Can you just post that link again?
Yeah. Can somebody please put it up for me?
Yeah. Ritika is there. I put it on the.
Awesome.
Can we go to the park?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I think Tribly knows the Gen Z best.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on. I was not on mute. Apologies.
All are waiting to get to the
No,
park.
absolutely not.
But you definitely need a park for the Gen Zs.
All of us. All of us. All of us.
Okay. Okay. Now what we'll do is, just to speed up of time, can I also start, can we just take the help of ChatGPT also? Let's do it together. So that, otherwise I don't think we'll be able to finish it in half an hour. Okay. So on the, you can all go to ChatGPT and probably ask ChatGPT, tell me the 5 challenges Gen Z faces in the workplace. And write that down. By the way, how is it going?
It's great.
Good brainstorming first, then ChatGPT. So we get that sequence.
Yeah, that's right.
And Anu is doing the Ask a Colleague.
Awesome. Awesome. Just put in whatever even ChatGPT is trying to say. We'll wait for another 2 minutes. I know it is very fast, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't feel good if I don't complete the cycle with you all.
But where do we put this?
In the chat?
Yeah, put it in the, not in the chat, put it into the Mentimeter.
Oh, okay.
I'm not able to do that.
ChatGPT output, copy paste. ChatGPT output, their suggestions, the top 5 pains of the Gen Z, put it in, copy it into the chat box. So we'll know what ChatGPT is telling us.
Yeah, I think that's better. Chatbot will put it on the chat box.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so now that is what what is. Okay, we finished the first place where all of us have come together and we have figured out what is happening right now. So we were trying to understand the present. Okay. Anybody wants to put any more messages on that?
I have put it on the chat board.
On the chat. Okay. Okay. No problem.
Can people see it? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Chat GPT also is not consistent.
Obviously, yes, it depends a lot on your prompt. So
Yeah, the prompt, yeah. And
also your
I'm using
search.
Copilot.
Right now,
Okay.
ChatGPT must have understood your personality. So
Yeah, sure.
ChatGPT will tell you what. So it also depends. It trains itself, right?
Show me the person and I'll tell you who you are.
Okay. Now let us go to what if. That is imagining new possibilities. Now here is where it becomes really, really very, that entire mind has to break in. We are so used to actually, solving problems that have become problems instead of seeing opportunities. So this is what if anything was possible. I wish I could show you the pic. I remember going for one exhibition, and they had this entire place where they were saying that, can we have what if anything was possible, and we could all get into that place, and we could become Superman, Superwoman, we could be anything, happy, playing in the snow. And oh my God, it was like imagining new possibilities with something that it's been long since we have not done. And one of the things that where I think design thinking has helped whenever I've taken workshop is whenever I have a mixed crowd where they bring their new Gen Zs also, and they bring their senior people also. And what I've realized is that a lot of senior people later reflect and tell, because they have to accept it in an open mind, right? So they tell that we have been so conformed for so many years that our thinking track is only one way. And here, when these youngsters start speaking, there is a whole lot of possibilities happening, and they start thanking the Gen Zs and the millennials for bringing that to the table, the ideas to the table. So with the same concept, let us the goal of this stage will be to reimagine a workplace designed around, say, Gen Z values, because this is what we have figured out, right? So ask yourself, this is second prompt. If a Gen Z designed your workplace, what would it look like? Start putting your ideas. Are you all with me?
Yes, yes.
Hello? Yeah, sorry. If Gen Z designed your workplace, please don't put it into ChatGPT. Let our own thoughts come through. Am I getting it? I'm not able to see any of the inputs.
I think we'll go back to, you want us to do this in Mentimeter, right?
Yes. Let's collaboratively come, because the entire collaboration piece is what is required. So be on the Mentimeter only. Don't go anywhere. I'll do the talking. Go to the Mentimeter. The code is 4513-3888. Hybrid workplace. Okay. Vibrant culture, tech savvy. I like that. Informal, flexible. Flexibility is coming up. Cool and fun. Yeah. Flexi policies. What is one of the flexi policies that comes to your mind?
Working hours.
Working hours. Please place that. Put that. good canteen, employee friendly, open desk system, flexi policy again.
PlayStations is good.
Yes, but what if possible? Please don't confirm. Say that if I could just design it like the one of the Titans, you know, one Iron Man, that could be one of the theme for the room. Just go. What if anything was possible? That is what we have. These are still looking into the present.
A pet at the workplace. A pet at the workplace.
Yes, please put in. Please put in. Yes.
I'm not able to add any further.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Start imagining what if Gen Z were to design the workplace, what would it look like? Longevity, yes. Pool table, yes. We're still in the existing. Can we just go different? Go to the moon and look at the earth and come back. How about performance reviews like a gaming leaderboard? Just to set your mind. What if the workplace looked like Spotify or Snapchat? Go beyond, go beyond, go beyond. Go beyond what you would never think of.
Yeah.
Crazy
An aesthetic
idea.
workplace, kind of Instagram kind of a workplace.
Wonderful. I like that. Please put, if you can put, please put it.
I've already done with my input, so yeah, I'm just trying to share.
See, can you see that how much? And that's where we have to start unlocking. Be creative. All virtual. I like that. All virtual. That was something unthinkable. Go with what if anything was possible. That is what should be your whole thing. See, sustained practices. That was also something that is moonshot thinking. Yeah, awesome. Now go and ask ChatGPT. Generate ideas. Is this fun?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And imagine if you had a Gen Z out here.
I think a lot of time we see that Gen Z are interested in networking with the previous batches and all. Alumni network.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that gives a lot of imbibe within the system. And we generally do
Yes.
these practices when somebody comes from IITs and then the previous batch is also there. So it's kind of
Yes.
buddy collaborations or alumni network we designed.
Yes. 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 True. I love the sleeping pods. Who said that? I can see that person going beyond.
Next, there will be a hookah pod also.
So we are just so looking at it. What you have to ask yourself, what is it that would make it delightful and realistic? Okay. So we'll go to the next one. Are we building up on something? Is there some new learnings happening collaboratively? There's some magic
Yes,
happening.
yes.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Now, what wows? Which ideas truly excited you? So let's wait for a minute. Is there somebody who's put into the chat and would like to share right now some crazy idea that you really came up that somebody spoke of? Just wait. So what you have to do is now think and put. See, again, that's the practice we have to do. Think and now put it. Okay. Think and what were the crazy ideas that really thought that this was really wow and it is implementable. So you want it delightful and yet realistic. You can just start putting. And now you can put up your crazy ideas also, which you think are implementable. And if you know somebody else, has done it, because this is a time when people start actually voting for it also. If you have found somebody else's idea which is really very good, speak out. Mm-hmm. Gamification of reviews, leaderboard gamification, Insta sharing, sleeping pod. Somebody said, no, the entire decorum should be something that they like. Imagine, in Accenture, if you are running a testing team of Snapchat, and then that room looks a little bit like a Snapchat. Something like that. I mean, I'm just thinking, now it is growing and evolving based on the inputs that have come here. Okay, this is not my own genius thinking. Soul knowledge, yes, that was very good. Yes. Stop here. Okay. Is that delightful and realistic? Okay, big screen games. I like that. Wellness leaves. Yes. Wellness leave. Yeah. Now start thinking about the values. Shall I just go to the values, and then probably it will help? Yeah. Look at these values and try to come up with something. Look at this. Somebody said no micromanagement. What is the possibilities that you can think about? Because they really don't. Value based. Understanding the purpose. How can you ideate now to create a workplace where some of these things, mental health and burnout, answering the whys, lack of clear career path. How can you engage them to be, be driving their own? This could be something that definitely the HR can take up with. Lack of the clear career path that is there. How do we break traditional workplaces? How do you ensure prejudices are, how do we help them to adapt? So is it only them adapting, or we can also adapt? Is also another perspective to it. Or how all of us can adapt, things like that. How can you ensure, you create an initiative where there's no clash of values, or incorporate that? Psychologist access. Wow, this is good. This is good. I like it. Yeah, I think some good things have come up because of the lack of time and honoring the time that you all gave me. Mental health days off. Okay. Always upskill. That could be an initiative, right? Always upskill. That could be an initiative. Creating digital workspace, office deco fun, attractive. Yes. Gen Z community learning. This is they love to give back to the society, So maybe getting that. Yeah. So some of the things have come up. Yes. These are the ones which really are implementable in the given scenarios. Yes. Yes. Wellness leave. Yes. They love to be pet parents is what I've heard. So something they just connect over. They just connect over a purpose. So it could be pets connect with pets. Somebody would connect with music. Somebody, that connection is not people based. It's actually now what they're able to relate with. Okay, awesome. So Some good ideas that is possible. Yeah. Okay. So here is what we stand. Okay. And the next thing is, look at these aligned with NGOs. Awesome. Look at these. See, the first thing about design thinking is you should immediately be able to create a small thing initiated immediately in the next week. So in the next week, can you all pick up one of these things if you all are able to, something that really you like, one of the ideas that have come here, and tell yourself, okay, this is something that I will try and implement it, because the next of the stages is prototyping. What does prototyping mean? Don't attack the big problem. Start small, it's okay, but start with something which is doable, which you can do in your given strength.
Is
How
it
you
a-
can,
Is it a
yeah.
POC, a proof of concept?
No, it's not a, this is not a proof of concept actually. No, this is not a proof of concept. Proof of concept happens way early.
Okay.
Now we're thinking what works, because these are all the ideas. Now we are going to phase 4, where we are saying what works. So I want you all to, okay, pick up, okay, let's do, so how would you test any one of these ideas on a small scale next week is my question to you. How would you test any one of these ideas on a small scale next week? Any thoughts?
Let's start by screening cricket or Wimbledon, tennis. Have some
Yes.
not big screen, but what a small screen or project. Start the projector and screen online some kind of games.
Yes, awesome. So that's the prototype you have created right now in just 20 minutes.
Wow.
Just 20 minutes. Prototype. You already have a prototype, which you can immediately start texting. You don't need anybody's, you just need approvals. But given the given infrastructure, look at the way you have come up with a solution.
Awesome. We started design thinking, you mean?
Absolutely. Anybody else?
We can get some dumbbells and yoga mats in the office.
Wow, that's good. And we can actually have a yoga thing where, but we have to design the environment. So before that, we'll have to kind of design it in such a manner, that it appeals to them to come and do it.
Yeah.
We are creating experiences. That's what I like. The first idea that immediately came up was we are creating an experience. We cannot create individual things, but we can build on creating experience, and that's what you all are very, very, very good at.
Wonderful. So the point of DI, we should get a yoga mat and a beanbag both together. So
yeah.
Yes. Any more thoughts people would like to share? Which is that one? How would you test any one of these ideas on a small scale next week? Pick up any one of the idea.
The leave policy is some of the suggestions that doesn't take any time to implement it.
Yeah. Probably we can create something which works around but doesn't really hit the business. We can have a leaderboard for leaves, so that everybody and anybody who's taking the leave knows, my God, today if I take a leave, all the other 4 people are not there. So it's going to impact my manager. Just take it off from the manager's shoulders.
To keep it simple, we can give them chaos so that people can thrive. So create chaos.
Awesome. Yes. Create that, there is one very nice term, grounding, something they call, where they create a space.
Disruptive
Or create
space.
your own space, create space where they will feel welcome and nice, and go sit there for 10-15 minutes and they can just go. It can be a very small space, but very much connected to, it's about experience. Yes, that's a beautiful idea. Soul knowledge. Can somebody come up with something that you can implement it in the next week?
understanding like we are the soul. One day we have to leave this planet Earth, right? Like, what are we going to
Yeah.
do?
Scare
Who am
them,
I?
scare
Oh, wow.
them, scare them.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's nice.
Oh, wow. So you'll create a series of probably people will come and talk, have 15-minute session.
Yes,
You can
yes.
create an iPod, you can create a pod system around it, or you can create just 15 minutes where people just plug in with nice music or something. You can do it within them because they love to, come up with something new, and they will blow your mind with the new things that they know. So some knowledge, soul knowledge kind of an experience that you can give on the go.
Wonderful. Reincarnation.
Reincarnation, yes. So that way you're trying to address the why in a very in a very nice way. For startups, you can actually help them. I mean, look at Steve Jobs. The way he used to say, give the why, and then they will just do the rest. I think he started doing the why, and that's why he used to really make people work. But when people buy that the thing that they're going to impact lives, I think that's where the startups can make you have to create an entire story. And I mean, I remember doing a storytelling workshop for startup, and where I told them we had 8 core stories that they actually came up with, and one of the stories was this, standing up and saying that you're going to impact, but in a very realistic way, because people can read through it, but helping them craft in such a manner that they're able to connect. So the purpose, and I think all of us should have those stories. Why we are doing what we are doing through stories or through our personal things, because that immediately connects with a Gen Z. Yeah. And probably some policies also where, we need to, because the current Gen Zs are, entitled, they feel entitled to respect, but that's how we as parents have brought them up. So when they come up, just start looking that at home, if they are entitled, don't touch their respect is one of the findings that came up in one of our conversation for design thinking with the leadership team. So yeah. Okay, awesome. So we were able to create something which was implementable, prototypes, and you all are also in a thing to test it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Hardly 25 minutes. And we also, was it human centered? Tell me.
Yes.
Yes.
Was it collaborative?
Yes.
Was it iterative? Did we go back to the previous what ifs?
Yes.
Before coming back to the solution? Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yeah. And we figured it out, and we have come up with something which is applicable, which we can do. Right? And see, in 20 minutes, you've done design thinking.
Wow.
Can we hear?
So write down, what did you find the most surprising today?
20 minutes to design your thoughts.
Awesome. Please type in, let it flow. Let it flow. I learned how to manage my entire thing using a mobile laptop. I don't know how I'm coming on screen, off screen, whatever it was. Like, I just didn't give up. Thank you for being with me. Yeah. So what did you find most surprising today? Please fill in your thoughts here. Was it fun?
Yes.
Were the introverts and the extroverts able to participate?
Yeah, it was participative.
Awesome. Did you find it close to your heart and still creating something innovative, something new?
Absolutely.
Yes.
If you give this to your business saying that, I'm not going to spend any money, this is the idea, have you innovated?
Yes.
And imagine, then you can always build on it. Okay, that doesn't mean we're not going to spend money at all, but we start with that.
Managing
Managing
power
through
cuts.
power cuts. I love that. Thank you for writing it for me. Okay. I hope all the participants are there and nobody is. We still have 30 participants. Yeah.
But more, in fact, more people have joined in.
Okay.
I think
Please
Triply
write in
more
what
Gen
did
Z
you
people.
find most surprising today? That design thinking is, design thinking is something that you can do it, right? Was I able to bring home that at least?
Yes.
It's simple and doable, Teresa says. Awesome. Ashwini says design thinking is very easy. I'm so happy, Ashwini. Satish says that great and simple framework. We can just kickstart it. Awesome. Gen Z thinking is something that you learned. Very insightful. What if mindset? Akshay, yeah, I wish I could show you the pic. I will share it with the GRC team and they can put it. What if? I was so happy. I was in the snow, smiling, laughing, everything. Participation was high. Yes. Yes. And we created magic, isn't it? What wows. Cost-effective framework with optimum resources, Vikas says. Awesome.
Just one thought, Anu.
Yeah.
While all of us done very well, collaborated, except Ashwini, without ChatGPT, we got a lot of answers. We got the beer flowing, biscuit happening. When we look at the problem statement, what ails the Gen Z? While we did some kind of brainstorming, none of us except Triply with her park is Gen Z. So is it not important to spend more time on focusing on what is the issues that concerns the Gen Z?
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you for bringing this up. This was something, I think, I'm so sorry. 1 minute. I'll quickly, before I wrap up, somehow I thought I was sharing the screen.
Is it part of the defining the problem statement?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Because
It
unless
is.
you get that right, all the solutions, the Gen Z might still be, they might not like the beer. They might want wine, whiskey, whatever. They might not like the gym thought. They might want to do their own cult fitting. So what are the root causes? If you were to address that, that might be more fit for purpose.
Yeah, that is true. See that, of course, it is something that we need to iterate and we have to do it. I just will show you what were the conversations, and then I'll take 2 minutes to show you what. See, my entire intent is to make this entire design thinking possible. Design thinking in itself is very, very it's exhaustive, right? You know that people take almost we have to implement it. We have to go back to the table and still keep doing it. So it is there, but what we just did it was at a surface level to understand that the possibility of this process. And what you said is true. We'll iterate. We will go back and we'll take our interviews. So this is the one phrase. Okay, so this is what we were trying to design. If anybody wants to take a screenshot, please take it. This will help you all. What would it look like? What were the ideas that truly excited you and seemed possible to implement? Please take a screenshot. This is something that we came together and did it. What did you find most surprising today? Some of the thoughts have come up. So these are the things that we compared. And now just to touch base on what we were actually trying to do it. So I had actually created all prompts and done it. Let me come to the actual slide, please. 1 minute. Okay, so I'll just share my slide for 2 minutes, bringing into because there are people here who have already done design thinking. They would like to really know how it looks. So let me now, I just showed you all the design thinking as a okay, so we went through that entire process, but I'm happy that we were able to do justice. Okay, so this is how design thinking framework is. Did you see that? There is a discover phase. Okay, and do you see that there is a lot of user interviews and stakeholders and all of that? Then you come to what is. You collect feedback and you figure out what if, what wows, and what works. And there are different ways of doing that. That is what has been shown here. Whatever, these are some of the tools that, that is to be used, so that you know actually what it is to be done. What we try to do right now is a simple test to just give you all a glimpse, not to complicate things, because a lot of people have complicated design thinking, making it look as if it is really very, very, difficult. So my entire thing, my entire, and of course, Jeanne Liedtka is the one who actually came up with this entire thing. So we were able to do a couple of things today. We were able to understand what actually matters, and the fact that we can all come up with solutions. Did we innovate is what was, to get you all familiarized with design thinking. That was a most important thing. But when we understand, we only learned design thinking approach. But when we actually deep down into the design thinking approach, you will come to know that every phase will have a document, as you rightly said. There will be a opportunity scope template where you figure out, okay, what is the opportunity? Is this really opportunity? Go back and, do some interviews. Come back, figure out what is it that the opportunity that we are trying to solve. Then we are able to understand, okay, what are the ideas that we can come up, and at any point of time you can break up and you can go and iterate. There's no iteration is possible at every point of time. So there are a lot of templates that come in the design thinking, and I would love to actually run you all through it, but I think today was basically to focus on how the process is done. How is it that we can collaborate and come up? And the fact that we have to be in the discovery phase for a longer period instead of going into the solution phase immediately. That was a very valid input. Yes. We cannot just, because that's what came up, right? The moment I said, what is it that you can do? Most of us were able to share that, okay, can we bring technology in? It is only when we soak in the interviews, when we soak with people, when we bring out the empathy. This is what we know based on our experience. But when we go back to the Gen Z, as rightly said, we go back to the idea. That's when we prototype. When we are prototyping, we go back and ask the Gen Zs, is this really realistic? Is this what you all are really looking for? And they will give you feedbacks. And then you can test it. You can go even when you're creating that idea, that this is what is coming up. Do you think this is something that you really look for? And they will give you feedback. So feedback is done at every phase with the target audience. You begin with what probably you know, but that may not be the actual thing. And that is where I said in the second 2 case studies that I took, I said, don't figure out on the data points, figure out on your insights. And for the insights, you will have to go into interviewing, figuring out the journey map. How is the journey happening? Then figuring out what are the top 3 things that we can do. All of that will come in place. Okay, so I just took 4-5 minutes extra. That's it. So any questions or any feedback or anything like that you would want to give? And I want you all to implement it, okay? And please come back. My email ID will be shared.
Yeah, it will be shared as part of the feedback communication.
Yeah, so you please share in your input. This was just a master class. So if we were actually sitting for a workshop, we would actually take up a real problem of yours, break, y'all go do interviews, and then y'all come back and slowly build up. It's not a one-day thing. We're just understanding the process. Yeah.
It's a really amazing session, Anu, from your end. I think just to break the ice, I believe this session is really helping us.
Thank
on
you.
a certain morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Means a lot to me, Vikash.
Anu, there are a couple of feedbacks on the chat as well.
Okay. You know,
Thank
I
you.
had this. Yes, Ritika. I'm not able to see basically. I don't know for what reason, but then I don't want to touch the technology. If you can just capture it for me and send it later.
Sure, sure. I'll do that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was a very insightful session, and I know we just scratched the surface, but
Yes.
certainly it's very interesting, and I'm sure that we will be able to go deeper into it and leverage design thinking in HR
Yes.
and make
Yes.
HR more creative and innovative.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And thank you to all the participants for braving the Saturday morning till
Yeah.
lunch.
Yoga day, the
And
longest day.
and we request you to, for those who are not members, to consider joining the GHRC fraternity, and look forward to having all of you in subsequent webinars and programs of ours. And let's stay connected on LinkedIn and on the GHRC portal. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes. Please
you.
connect with me on LinkedIn, and if you have anything that you want to discuss with me, I'll be more than happy. I'll be more than happy to sit across and probably discuss. Thank you so much for GHRC team. I think Ritika has been really working behind, and for almost 2 months, she was telling and she wanted me to kind of create something. I've been so tied up. Thank you so much, Ritika, for following up and making following up with me and really making this happen, and with such a so much of your initiative. Thank you so much, Ramesh, for this creating this platform. For me, I really want people to absorb into design thinking because it has changed my life. So, yeah. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you to Akshay also.
Thank you.
Thank you for the entire GHRC team. Thank you, Shankar. Thank you, Bikash. I mean, thank you for Soumya. All of you, I see, I know a few names by now. Please connect with me on LinkedIn if you really want in any ways, if I can be of any help to you. I'll be more than happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anu, for all the appreciation, and we're glad to have you here. And it was a very insightful session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.